Spring is in full swing, and it's time to celebrate. And what better way to embrace it than by creating some fun crafts with umbrellas? Hi, I'm Robin, and in today's video, we're thrilled to announce that there are some adorable babies being born in our world this spring. We're celebrating with this collaboration from Showers to Flowers, Creative Ideas for Spring, hosted by Annie over at Crafting with Indiana Jones. And the guest host of honor is Favi from Arrows DIY. Make sure to check out the playlist in the description box below. And let's celebrate spring together, whether you're crafting with umbrellas or welcoming new babies into your life. There's so much to be grateful for this season. For my first DIY, I took a paper box, one of those ones that you can fold and bend into the proper shape. And what I did was I kept it flat, and then I folded the two ends over at the top. And I wanted to keep the bottom part rounded so it would look more like an umbrella. I took this bag that I got from Dollar Tree, and I thought the pattern was so beautiful and nice for spring. And I covered the box completely with the fabric. It was more like a plastic. Then I needed to fold over the corners, so I decided to push them inside so that I'd get a nice seam. And I just added some hot glue and pushed it closed with my fingers. I did that on both sides. Next, I took some lace curtain, and I decided that I really like this pattern, so I cut off part of it just using scissors. And I tried to be careful so I didn't cut any other part of it. So I just had this piece. And then I decided which way I wanted it. At first I was going to have it the other way, but I really liked how it looked like this. So I decided on this way. And I just added some more hot glue and put down the pieces and made sure to push it down with my finger. And then I continued on to the other side. Here's how it's looking so far. Now I wanted to make it into an actual umbrella. So I had this round container, and I decided to cut off another piece of the bag because the bag did have some pink on it as well. And I just rolled the container up and used hot glue to secure it. And then I inserted it at the bottom of the bag, but there was a bend there and it wasn't staying, so I gave it a little snip. And then it was much easier to insert. I did have to secure it with hot glue and make sure that it was centered. Next, I took some pool noodle, and if you know me, I love using pool noodle in all kinds of ways. I even made an Eiffel Tower once with it, but we won't talk about that right now. I covered the pool noodle in more of the pink bag material because I wanted this to be a handle for the umbrella. So you just have to be really careful because the hot glue is very hot and you don't want to burn yourself doing this. So you should use finger protectors but I was very, very careful when I did it. I didn't cut enough of the pink material, so I was trying to do it so that it would work. Once I did, I cut off the top because I wanted it to be a flat surface for the two things to connect. And I added more hot glue, and then I held them together so the glue would partially dry. But I noticed there was a bit of paper missing, so I decided to cut another piece of paper and add that on. And not only did it help to keep the two things together, but it hid the little piece that I had messed up on. Next, I took some really pretty ribbon that I had got at Dollarama, and it was leaves. It almost looked like a vine, and it was a silver color. So I thought it would match really well with the pink. So I just twisted it going from the bottom of the handle and then all up the arm of the umbrella until I got to the top, making sure to add hot glue every so often and making sure that the vine was the right way, because one side had the pretty silver and the other side was white to let you know it was the back. Now I did make a mistake, and in one section the vine was upside down, so I had to actually take it apart a little bit and fix it. So if you do notice there's a mistake, try and fix it right away, because that glue will stick and you'll have a hard time if you don't. This lace umbrella is a great way to showcase your creativity and crafting skills. And it's also a wonderful opportunity to celebrate the beauty of new beginnings and the excitement of a fresh start. Whether you're planning a springtime wedding, a baby shower, or just looking for fun in a festive way to welcome the season, this umbrella is sure to make a statement. I had this ribbon from a plant someone had given me around Christmas time, and just looking at it, I thought, wow, I could use this to make a bee. So I decided to paint the gold stripes black. And once I did that,
so I should do one more.
I cut it off at the top because I figured I'd have enough. Then I took these shower curtain rings that I got at Dollarama. I took 4 of them. I'm just seeing how they will look right here, because I wanted to make bee wings out of them. So using this pretty ribbon that was kind of see-through, I placed each shower curtain on it so that it was completely covered. And then I just added hot glue to the shower ring. And then I placed the material on top. And I did this on both sides, so it would be completely held on. Once I did that, I gave the little wing a little trim just on all the corners and edges, just so it looked a bit better. And I did this to all 4 of the shower curtains. Shower curtains, shower curtain rings. Once that was done, I lined them all up so I could see how they looked. And I looked online actually to see what a bee looks like, because I know what a bee looks like, but to see how the wings would go. And then I took my piece of fabric from the ribbon that I'd cut off and I rolled it up and added hot glue to secure it because I wanted it smaller. And I had this little pointy thing at the end, and I thought that was kind of cool because it could be the bee's stinger. Next, I took my silicone mat and I lined up all of the little wings how I wanted them, just by checking the striped part to see where the wings go. And then I added hot glue in the middle. And by using the silicone mat, the hot glue doesn't stick to it. So I was able to secure everything together. And then I just added the little stripe part on top. And I pressed it down with my fingers just to make sure that everything was adhered well. Then I took some black paint and this little wood slice and I completely covered the wood with the black paint. And then using hot glue again, I added the little wood slice on top because this is going to be the little bee's head.
So it looks like that.
And here's how it looks so far.
Right now. Okay, and now.
I had these googly eyes that I added on, and I also had this thin wire that you could use for gardening. And I made a little antenna and I added on the two googly eyes. I liked how it was looking, but I thought it needed a little something else. So I took some more of that lace and I cut off a little piece, a rounded piece, because I thought my little bee deserves a smile. So I made sure to cut it down so that it was thin. And then I added the little smile on the bee with some hot glue. Not only is this bee a charming and personalized gift for new parents or parents-to-be, but it's also a great way to add a touch of springtime cheer to your home decor. Hang it from a branch or display it in a vase for a unique and eye-catching centerpiece that's sure to make a statement. For my next DIY, I took a picture off the web and I made it into a pattern and then I cut it out with my scroll saw. It's a carriage and I was inspired to do this project by an idea by John C. from What If I Could Scroll. Then I took this fabric that I got at Dollar Tree and just a cardboard box, and using the hot glue once again, I lined the box bottom with the hot glue and then I put the fabric on top. And I wanted to make sure that the creases were along the same lines as the box sides, because I didn't have an iron, because otherwise you should iron the fabric before you work with it. But since I didn't have one, I was just going for it. Once I got the fabric all lined up how I wanted it, I made sure to push down on the hot glue on the inside to make sure it was secure. Then I cut off the extra pieces of the fabric. And here's how it's looking so far. I'm liking it. I added more hot glue to the ends and secured them down. It's kind of like wrapping a present, but you're using fabric. You want to make sure that everything is put down well. Next, I took one of those holders, I guess you'd call it. You know, when you go to get the fast food restaurant and you have a few drinks, like soda pop or juice or something, and then you have to bring out a whole bunch at once and they give you this little holder thing. Well, I thought it had a really nice texture on it. And at first I was going to use it for another DIY, but then I was making this umbrella and I thought, hey, I could use that to make an umbrella. So I lined it up on my box to see how it would look. And then I cut off several pieces of it because I wanted to make it like a half of an umbrella, because I had planned to put fabric over it anyway, so you weren't going to be seeing that part. But I thought that the top needed to be a little more shaped, kind of pointy, like an umbrella actually is. So I took this other little piece that I had cut off and I placed it on the very front of the, I don't know, is it called cardboard, that stuff? I feel like it's kind of like cardboard. Edgy cardboard. And I just stuck that on with hot glue just to round it out a little bit more in the front. And then I cut off another piece from the holder, the middle piece, which had a pointed top, and I stuck that on the very top. Then I added some more of that buffalo check fabric to this cardboard piece. And I just basically wrapped it all up in the fabric and then added hot glue. And I kind of thought that the cardboard piece looked like Boba Fett. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Once I had it completely covered with fabric, I applied a liberal amount of hot glue and I placed it into the spot. It's going to go above where I'm going to have the carriage, and this is going to be an umbrella, if you haven't guessed already. Kind of looks like an awning. Or a little bed for maybe a doll. Next, I took some more of that lace curtain and I cut off a large section. I thought that this pattern would go really well because it kind of looked old-fashioned, and that's the vibe that I was going for. The guest host of honor of this collaboration is Favi from Arrows DIY. And I wanted my projects to reflect the type of style that Favi does when she's doing her DIYs. And I find that when Favi DIYs, she makes a lot of high-end looking items. So I wanted mine to look good like that. So I tried really hard to try and do something I thought she would like. And I know she does like shabby chic. So I'm feeling that kind of vibe with this project. Next, I took the carriage and I placed it inside to see how it would look. And I had this fabric for a placemat, and I thought it would have a nice contrast with these colors and the buffalo check. So I just took a marker and then I traced the whole outline of the carriage, and I cut it out. Then I added a liberal amount of glue to the carriage and I put the placemat on top. I did 2 layers of the carriage. The first layer was the background. That's what I'm putting this placemat on. And then I have another layer which is all the fine details of the carriage, and for that I did something different. You want to put everything together and check how it looks before you add anything else. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I was loving how it was looking, so I kept it.
What it's gonna look like.
I took another piece of the curtain fabric. It had 3 different designs in it, and one of them was flowers. So I used those flowers as the wheels. And I did have to straighten up the flowers because at first I had one going with the circle in the middle going sideways and the other one going up and down, but I didn't like it, so I had to fix that. I decided I wanted to use this metallic silver paint for the embellishments on the carriage, just because I wanted to all tie in together for the buffalo check gray pattern on the background. And here's how it looks with the paint on it. It kind of looks gray because it had soaked into the cardboard a bit.
Okay.
And then I just added that on with some hot glue. I had this beautiful pearl ribbon, and I thought it would go amazing on the inside of the carriage. Well, it's actually the outside of the carriage, but the inside spot. Even though I had already scroll sawn those designs, I really like the look of the pearls, so I decided to add those on. I thought I would use some baby's breath for this project, and I had some, but it had green stems, and I really didn't like the look of it with the gray. So I painted it gray, and I thought it really matched well after. And I just glued it on the side. It's kind of on the outside of the piece. This DIY project is sure to impress guests and create a lovely ambiance for celebrating the upcoming arrival of a new baby. The delicate lace umbrella and the soft baby's breath add a touch of elegance and whimsy, while the flower wheels bring a pop of color and playfulness. The vintage feel of the carriage, combined with the delicate lace and flowers, can create a stunning backdrop for pictures at a baby shower, making it a truly unique and personalized decoration. These umbrella DIYs can be a fantastic addition to any spring or baby shower event. Umbrellas are not only practical, but they can be used as decorative props, which can add a fun and playful touch to the celebration. These umbrella-themed crafts are sure to bring some joy to your day. What better way to welcome home baby than with some sweet handmade gifts? So let's celebrate spring together. Making these DIYs is the perfect way to add a touch of beauty and elegance to any springtime celebration. For more bee-themed ideas, click on the next video.